So let's talk a little bit about the purpose of development class in a group, okay? As you know, we develop as individuals because our path is definitely chosen for us. We choose it before we incarnate. When you come together in a group like this, there's a raising of consciousness. There's what's called, and actually Carl Jung was the one that termed it, a collective unconscious. There's a collective unconscious on the spiritual level as well as just a psychological level. So when you are in a setting like this and there's more than one individual who desires to ascertain ascension, that desire is manifested and transmuted energetically. So there's, not only is it a learning experience when we share based on our human experience and soul experience, but there's an energetic change that really does bring us closer to ascension. Again, one thinks that if you're, of course, here, you desire that growth, which is even more of a boost energetically. Okay? Let's talk about spirituality versus religion, because there is a difference, yet there's a lot of similarity there. All right? Spirituality is the understanding or the knowledge that I am spirit in human form, and I am spirit in human form to have human experience, to grow as spirit. Okay? Religion is a belief system that's doctrinated by human, okay, and human cognition. I will just offer a blanket statement that I believe that there's been purpose throughout history for religion to offer a sense of control of the masses, no pun intended. Okay? Spirituality is very different. Spirituality does not offer a sense of control. It offers a sense of independence, individuality, self-determination, self-motivation, and spirit connection with human. Does everybody see the difference? Let's talk about awareness, acknowledgement, and awakening. Okay? As the spirit chooses to develop, the spirit must be brought into awareness. What offers us awareness is our human experience, daily experiences, the life choices that we make. Yes, our destiny is predetermined, but within that predetermination, we have the ability to make choices. Those choices offer us experience. Those choices also will determine the length and the depth of the predetermined lesson or lessons. So whatever you choose to do on a daily basis throughout your life, through the whole existence that's here, really provides opportunity, learning opportunity on an individual level. And then we have the people in our lives that we chose to have in our lives, as hard as that may be to believe or understand, and our exchanges with those people, okay? Emotional exchanges, physical exchanges, even sexual exchanges, all exchanges are opportunities being provided for us, spirit opportunities, for us as well as the person we're exchanging with. Even something as small as a momentary exchange in an elevator on the street, okay? When you're in a car and somebody cuts you off, okay? Something as small as that, every single exchange is orchestrated by spirit with purpose to learn lesson. Let's talk about acknowledging. You're brought into awareness by your experiences, okay, and the emotion. Acknowledging that awareness is essential. If you do not believe and you do not adopt the belief system rather, that everything is orchestrated, every single moment, every second, every breath is orchestrated with purpose for ascension, then it's very difficult for the soul here, spirit in human form, to ascend, to learn. That acknowledgement also means one must acknowledge complete acceptance, same thing, that the other side is completely in control of everything we do. That seems to be difficult for a lot of people because it really means a surrendering of a belief system that we adopt, that we are taught, that's very traditional, through religion, through education, and I mean public education, okay, through media, Okay, so you really have to almost change your belief system, change your cognition, take on a new understanding, and have blind faith. And I say blind faith because it requires you to acknowledge that something beyond who you are, greater than who you are, whether you want to call it God, whether you want to call it spirit, you want to call it planet, whatever you want to call it, controls your growth and development, and only offers you opportunity and experiences here to foster that growth or facilitate that growth. Acceptance. Now you've got awareness, you've got the acknowledgement. Now you have to accept. You have to accept that your mission, your sole purpose here is to learn. To learn to bring you to the highest level of love that only Spirit knows. That's it. That is why you're here. Every single one of us. That is why we're here. Can you repeat that, please? I'll try. You have to accept that your mission, your soul's path, even though everyone has a different soul path, what I mean by that is your experiences are going to be different, your lessons are going to be learned in a very different way, but everyone has the same mission, the same soul purpose, and that is to really understand and to learn love. That we do not know here, we only know on the other side in a very intense spiritual way. It's a little bit different than what I said the first time, but the meaning is the same. That is the acceptance. The acceptance is you must accept that that is your purpose. That is the only purpose, that is your purpose. I'm making it sound simple, but it is not. It is a very, very difficult task. Every being that exists on the other side has been here. Has been here, okay? Every single existence, master, ascended master, saints, angels, they've all been here. Galactic beings, they've all been here. Galactic beings don't transmute to the other side like we do, okay? What determines whether you come back or not is your soul when you're on the other side. You choose to come back to continue the learning process. That's why you've heard the term classroom earth. I think it was coined in the 70s. That's exactly what this is. That's what it means. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Another piece of the acceptance is the ability to accept that in order to learn our lessons and in order to ascend, we have to constantly raise our vibration. And in that raising of our vibration, all right, our lightened energy becomes lighter. Those around us that are not at the same pace in their path of ascension and remain in darkness or are not as light as we become as we ascend, we often have to accept leaving them behind. That's very difficult because that is difficult for the human form, which is connection, okay, which is sometimes even a little bit more than that, which is codependent connection. Again, what we learn human form, what we learn through education, through schools, through media, through everything else, is almost in opposition to the soul's purpose. There's a huge duality and dichotomy here, which is why the soul comes to this planet to learn. You have to accept, you have to completely accept that everything is for your highest good as well as everyone else on this planet. Even when you don't have answers, even when you have loss and you have pain, you still have to accept it is for your highest good. Huge, huge piece of the lesson. Huge piece of the lesson. Myself, I'm not there yet. I am not perfect. Just because I sit here doesn't mean I'm not. I'm not in the same place you are. Okay, let's talk about being, I don't really like the term psychic. I use it because that's what people throw at me and that's what they call me. I'm going to talk about what I've learned is that there's a hierarchy of the gift, okay? Really on the minimal level, it's almost like, is anyone familiar with Maslow's hierarchy? If you go, okay, you're back to school, it's that triangle, Maslow's hierarchy. Maslow is a psychologist and he spoke about a hierarchy of needs that we have. So there's physical needs, there's emotional needs, okay? And then you really do enter spiritual needs. There's a hierarchy in this gift also. Now everything, and I've said this before and I'll keep saying it every time I meet with people, everything that I offer you, that I speak about is what I've experienced or what I've been shown on the other side when I've been there, or what they teach me, okay? So it may be in books that you've read, because I hope it is, because there's got to be some similarity to what I'm saying to what's being taught by others. But this is all via what they have taught me, and they ask me to teach others. There's a hierarchy, so imagine, and you might want to draw this, imagine there's a triangle. At the base of that triangle, the very minimal experience, okay, when you know you're now entering your gift, as I'm going to call it, you want to call it being psychic, that's okay, is intuition. Everyone has, it is our innate gift. We are born with it. We are born with intuition. We are born with capability. That capability is psychic capability, it's mediumship, it's medical intuition, it's ascension, it is the ability to become a master while in this lifetime. Okay, we all are born with that. That is called soul retention. The soul chooses to enter a human body with all of the answers, all of the knowledge, everything that it requires while in the human body and during the particular existence. It's called soul retention. Most of us cannot or choose not to access it. So intuition is that first level. Okay? Intuition is simply what you're going to call gut feeling. Intuition is what you all know is when you go to, and I use this example, to go to pick up the phone when it's ringing, you kind of like, wow, I think I know who that is. You answer the phone, it's the person you thought it was. Intuition is when you go to get in your car and something's saying, you know what, I really shouldn't do this, I should go another way, I should go a different direction, you have an accident. Okay? Intuition, gut feeling. We all have those experiences, we all know what that is. That is the minimal level of really coming into awareness and acknowledgement and acceptance of your gift. The more you, this gift, and I keep calling it a gift because I completely believe that it is a gift, to be able to be in touch with it and use it. The more you have those experiences and the more you validate them and you practice them, just like you're practicing an instrument or a skill, the more it reinforces the ability and the gift. The second level, you move into the second level, before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to do a lot of talking today, until I lose my voice. Before we talk about that, let's talk about children, okay? Children are an awesome example for us to learn from in so many ways, but in particular, and you all know that I work with children, and I consider that a gift. In particular is the fact that when they are born and they come into this world, they come in with the purity of soul retention. Meaning, they're in awareness of soul retention and all of their answers. That's why children are able to see spirit, communicate with spirit. Okay? And many of you, if you have children, I'm sure you know that experience. When they're just kind of staring off and babbling away and it looks like, okay, what are they talking to? They're communicating with spirit. As children get older, because of environment and because of what we teach them, okay, and I'm an example of this. When I was younger and I used to see spirit all the time, and I would tell my parents that I saw that. You're imagining it. It's not there. That's not real. You know, people are going to think you're crazy. You don't want to say things like that. And eventually, I started to believe that. And I just kind of said, okay, I'm imagining this. This is not real. And then when you go to school, again, when you verbalize things like that, you're met with the same resistance. So we actually teach ourselves, as a society and an environment, not to be aware of our soul retention. So when you want to develop spiritually, you've got to undo all of that learning. You've got to undo that, what you're taught in school. And this is definitely, I see this in elementary school. You can only validate what you can sense in your five senses. Absolutely not. Okay, that's the next step beyond intuition. So we have to unlearn the blocking that we've offered ourselves because of environment, because of society, because of controls, to intuition. We have to unlearn that only what can be validated in five senses is an accurate experience. Okay. So let's talk about the second part now. So when you develop this gift and you practice it, and I do mean practice it, every time you start to work on the intuition, you start to validate it, you then start to get the gift a little bit stronger, and it comes in stronger. And that comes in as the psychic experience. That's what I'm going to talk about the next step. So that's being psychic, literally. So now it's a little bit beyond intuition. It's not just intuition. It's a deeper level of awareness and a deeper level of understanding where there's actual communication going on from soul to soul. Where there's clairaudient communication, there's clairvoyant communication, there's telepathic communication, there's clairsentient communication. And you are able to connect ethereally with others and know things. Predictive, not predictive, okay? That is the psychic level. That's like the second level that comes in. Very important on that level, and some of us are there, some of us are in different levels beyond that. Very important in that level. Very, very important that you have the confidence and the belief that what you're experiencing is real. There's that acceptance again. There's the awareness, the acknowledgement, and the acceptance. You must accept that what you're experiencing is real, even though it cannot be validated by your five senses. The more you practice that, and the more you allow yourself to have those experiences, and you validate them in the ways you can, I'm going to get into that later, how you can do that, the more that gift comes through even stronger. The next level. Now you move through that, and you move into mediumship. Once the other side says, okay, we see you got that part now, we see you got the psychic part, we're going to give you something a little bit different. We're going to let Spirit literally communicate with you one-on-one. Because we see that you are our vehicle. We see that you believe. We see that you trust. And we want you to serve us. And by us, I mean the other side. So we are going to give you this ability. That's when you start to actually communicate with Spirit. You begin to see them as maybe a hazy form or shape. You begin to, in your dreams, receive messages that become clearer and clearer, more clear, whatever the accurate way of saying that is, grammatically correct. And again, like every piece of this gift, the more you do it, the more you allow it, the more you acknowledge it, the more you accept it, the more it comes on. Doubt and fear will prevent growth. Doubt and fear, lack of confidence, lack of belief, any doubt that you have will satiate growth. It will completely stop it. Once you start to receive messages, it's very important that you have the strength, the guts, I'll say it that way, to be able to deliver a message. When you show the other side that you're willing to overcome that fear and actually take a message that you think you've received and now go and give it to someone, at the risk of feeling stupid, at the risk of being rejected, okay? When you do that, that first time that you do that and it's validated, you've now opened the door. It's almost like you've gotten a key and you've opened the door. Messages will continue to come and you must continue to deliver them. Not all messages are going to be validated, that's okay, because we're human, we're not perfect. The interpretation is really ours. There is no universal language, there are only a few symbols that are universal. Everything else is based on you learning to really connect with Spirit, understand what they're trying to give you, kind of interpret, and using whoever you're reading for, whoever you're delivering for, I should say, to interpret, okay? That's essential. Again, practice. It's a skill. It has to be practiced. You must believe, you must accept, you must be aware, and you have to practice. Once you kind of enter that level, okay, now you move up one more level, and what happens is they start to use you physically as a conduit of energy, as a medical intuitive, as a healer, okay? That comes when you've now proven that you have the belief, okay, I know this is real, all right, so I hear dead people, all right, I'm hearing them, I'm talking, I'm giving the messages, all right, I don't fear anything. When you surrender yourself to fear and you literally do not fear whatever the other side is asking of you or wants you to offer, the next step comes. And you move out of just the mediumship Okay. Remember though that as you move up that hierarchy, up that triangle, the gift is still all connected. It's bunched together. So it's not like you just move from one to the other. It's collective. So now you're in this energy field where you're healing and you're learning how to heal. And they use your body literally to conduit energy. Predominantly that's the MAP team that works with you. It's a medical assistance program. Also some of the archangels do a lot of that work with you. And you, on the other side of it, no pun intended, can ask anyone to work with you. Anyone you want on the other side. Come on in and help me conduit energy. In doing that, they allow you to, whether it's hands-on and touch someone, or just actually visually scan someone, or feel someone's energy. They allow you to see where the blocks are in someone's chakras and how that manifests into cell change or disease. Okay, that's that next step. That's what, whether you want to call it healer or intuitive, medical intuitive, it's all the same thing. And then they give you the ability to use their healing light, their energy, and bring it through you to offer to another. You're going to do it mentally as well as physically. That doesn't mean you have to touch someone. You don't have to be in someone's presence. It can be done long distance, and it doesn't mean you have to touch someone. Now, there are many healing courses, I understand. I am not trained in any of them, like I know Reiki, and I know some of you in the room do that, where you're taught to touch people. That's fine. There's many types of healing. Again, you validate it, you work with someone, you look at the body, you look at what's wrong, you offer them healing. They come back to you and they say, hey, this changed, I feel better. There's your validation. And you keep believing. From that, you keep moving up, and then you move up into a very different level where you become almost like an ambassador of energy. And you can become what they call a master, a human master, which is different than... Okay, we're going to talk about divinational tools. All right? When I first started this journey of my hierarchy, shall we say, I was literally guided by spirit, by the other side. And I don't think this is something that's common, at least in my speaking to other people that do this work. I was told, and I remember, degree in psychology, a lot of reading required. Avid reader. I was told, read nothing. Literally read nothing. So I put the books down. I had people telling me all the time, I got this great book, you know, this is John Holland, this is our... No. Spirit wanted to make it very clear to me that they would teach me everything I needed to know, and that I could then go forth and say to people like I am here, this is what they taught me. This is what I know directly from them, through my experiences and their teachings. I, for a while, was taking classes just like you guys are doing this, and a couple of different people I took classes from. And I said, well, you know, what about tarot cards? I want to do tarot cards. What about the pendulum? I want to do the pendulum. I want to do all these things that I see other people do. Tea leaves, I even wanted to do that for a while. That wasn't good, I burned myself in that process. So, I'm going to talk to you tonight about divinational tools because there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Many people use them. I'm not saying that people should not use them. What I am going to say to you is that you don't need them. Intuition, reception, okay, is direct from spirit. Tools just help us with our fears and doubt. They're just something that stands between us and a client or a person we're trying to help and really masks our fear. Okay, I did bring some stuff with me tonight, so I'm going to show you actually. I'm going to show you, this is a pendulum. Is there anybody that's never used a pendulum before? Oh, good. You never used a pendulum before? Wow, okay. Pendulums, like crystals and rocks, okay, hold the person's energy that they belong to. So I don't let people use this pendulum. I use it. I'm very selfish when it comes to my pendulum. I mean, you can cleanse things, and you can cleanse rocks and crystals, which are not my forte. I know very little about them. I know that they work. You can cleanse them, but really, again, when I was guided and I was taught, I was basically taught, let no one touch it. So I'm going to show you how it works, for those of you that don't know how this works, okay? There's an old trick that my Italian grandmother used to do when someone's pregnant, they hold a needle, okay?
Yeah.
Same concept. It really is just the concept of spirit moving this. Now, my hand's not moving. That's the energy. And mine usually moves a lot because of the energy in my body. So your old grandma, you know, my grandma Rosario, okay, every time somebody was pregnant, she took out the needle. And she was right every time, every single time.
Which way does it go for a girl?
Oh, right.
But it can hold, it depends, I think, on the person's energy.
And yeah.
It may be different
now,
when you use the pendulum as when she uses it when you ask her to.
When a pendulum is being used, what I've learned from my own experiences is that another reason why you shouldn't let somebody else use it, because the way it moves, a yes or a no, is based on your transmutation of energy. Someone else's transmutation might be in direct opposition, and it has to do with your chakra system and the way the energy moves through your body. So I'm going to ask somebody to ask a question that you definitely know the answer to. There's no doubt about it, and you know if it's yes or no. I'm going to ask yes or no questions. So I'm going to have somebody ask a question of this pendulum that you know the answer is either a yes or no, clearly without a doubt that you know. So anyone have a question for it?
Is Sandy wearing yellow?
Okay. Am I wearing yellow? Now usually a circle is yes when I use it. Okay, now I'm not moving. It's actually reacting to the light to my left. As you can see, it is moving in a circle. Okay. Now we know the answer to that question is yes. Obviously I am wearing yellow. And so the spirit is answering us. Absolutely, I'm wearing yellow. And the answer is yes.
It's a big yes.
Yeah. Usually when I use the pendulum, it's a lot of movement. Yeah. One time it actually went and like all the way over. Like, wow. Anybody have a question? They know the answer is no. Absolutely no, without a doubt.
Is Sandy 6 feet tall?
You know, I have a Napoleon complex. I do. I have a height complex.
You shouldn't.
Am I 6 feet
near me.
tall?
Right next to Tara.
Nicole and Tara, where are you? Spirit, am I 6 foot tall in this dimension, in this body? Okay, so you're going back and forth like that? I'm not doing that. That is a no. Okay. So here's a divinational tool that, and I can also show you if we'll do it another time, if I were to place this above your chakra and I ask a question of your body or your energy system. A lot of people use this in medical intuition. I do not. Regarding the body, and they will actually, I believe the term is douse it over your body. And based on the movement of the pendulum, they can tell where there's blocks in the cell, in energy. Okay, so some of the workers that do energy work actually do that. Divinational tool, does it work? Absolutely. It's spirit moving this, okay? They are moving and they are answering. It's not me. Do you need it? No. It's pretty and it's fun and it gets a lot of attention, okay? Up to people's discretion. When you start practicing, and I will use that word intently, when you start practicing your gift and you want to use a tool, that's fine. This is a good validation for you if you want to use it when you start and you begin as a practice item. Because it will validate if you have a question and you do know the answer and you automatically know the answer, it's your validation. Or if you want to start working with someone and you don't know the answer but you have them ask the question and they know the answer, go ahead, use it. Okay. Tarot cards. Let's talk about tarot cards. I have a lot of different decks. I have actually an Egyptian deck that is my favorite. I used them for a while in the beginning, and then I realized, don't need this. They were more fun actually for me than anything else. The other thing too is people, it's almost like, you know, when you go to a doctor, they have a degree, okay? Like I have a degree, so I must be good at what I do. When you go to a psychic, well, they do tarot cards. They must be good at what they do. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I have an angel deck, which is actually Doreen Virtue. Everybody familiar with Doreen Virtue? Mm-hmm. Very famous. She actually herself was a psychologist, taught it that way too. And she's developed this deck. The cards in here I find are incredibly powerful. I have used them on people when I've read with people or for people, but I actually use them in the classes. I'm going to use them tonight, and I'll tell you why. They offer a very strong lesson in the class. They are picture cards. Tarot cards are picture cards. You read the picture, now it comes with a nice little book, tells you what each card means, okay? If you truly read cards, you don't read them that way. You read a card, you put it in front of someone, or you let them choose a card. You don't even need to see the picture to tell them what the energy is behind the card if you truly read a tarot card, okay? But the book helps you. And again, when you're starting, if you want to do this, if you want to have fun and you want to do some unsuspecting relative, or it's a weekend, you're bored, whatever, come on over, let me do a tarot reading on you. Use the book, train yourself how to do it. Eventually you'll see you don't need it. Again, it's just another validation for you to show you you're doing it right. I'd like everybody to start by taking 3 very long, very deep breaths. Remembering that breath is necessary and essential for your body to be brought to a place of lightness and connection. As you breathe and continue to breathe deeply and slowly, you open up the chakras, you open up your channel, and you open up your portal. Know that in all the work that we do, and specifically this evening, we are embraced and surrounded by Michael the Archangel, so that all that is received, all that is exchanged in meditation is always in the highest of light. And as guardian and gatekeeper of heaven and earth, Michael protects us in our exchange of energy with the other side. The archangels have asked to come forth. In the angelic realm, miracles are created. For those of us that seek an awareness, an acknowledgement, and the ability to accept our own connection without fear and without doubt. The archangels will offer the transmutation of energy for you. On a cellular level. That will create this change. Please welcome Zadkiel as he comes forth. As Zadkiel stands here before you, in presence, he offers the gift in working with you. Not only in clearing the root chakra, but in that clearing, giving you white light and violet light. Imagine now that light entering your root chakra. White and violet combined as 2 lines parallel from the tip of your tailbone, moving upward slowly as it moves to the top of the tailbone, creating an energetic burst of white and violet light. This light, this combination, is a very different combination. It will offer you an expanding of the tailbone, that which is necessary to move into a higher level of consciousness and brain waves to bring forth spiritual reception. Imagine now, envision this white and violet light as it travels through the tailbone, expanding the bone itself and facilitating the growth of new bone marrow cells. Breathe deeply and feel the infusion of this light. As Zadkiel stands over each of you, he's at your feet, kneeled on one knee, and he places his hands on both of your feet. Through the left hand comes the white light, through the right hand comes the violet, traveling up your legs to the tailbone. Allow this energetic change to take place. Envision this transmutation of energy. Know that this change will be a permanent expansion of the tailbone. You will not feel different physically. It is an energetic change. As we enter the fifth dimension, a new time of evolution on this planet, this expansion will be necessary to move forth. Zadkiel stands and removes himself from you. In comes Raphael, Archangel of Healing Element. Raphael comes present. Raphael is going to work with the solar plex. As Raphael presents forward, he comes to you in a unique fashion. He's here levitating in our space. His body levitates above all of you, as if he were lying above you, facing down, looking at you. Remember to breathe deeply and slowly, particularly during the solar plex exchange. For each and every one of you, he is removing blockage. That blockage is energy. That is a green or dark green or gray matter. Some of you have more than others, but all of us are blocked in the solar plex. As he hovers above you, with his energy in his mind's eye, he's actually lifting that block straight out through the body where the solar plex exists. through the digestive and stomach area. See that energy leaving your body, seeping out of your skin. Allow yourself to feel almost as if it's a string being pulled out. All of the debris, the spiritual debris, which manifests in the solar plex and blocks your movement into ascension. Allow yourself to see it being removed. Take a moment now to allow this process. Raphael steps away. He actually lowers his body back down to the ground and makes room for our third visitation. Allow Archangel Uriel to join us. Uriel is specifically here to work with you in the energy that's in your throat chakra. For as the transmutation has changed for you and your root has expanded, it will become necessary for all of us to be able to speak our truth. To be able to verbalize manifestation of our growth. As Uriel steps forward, Uriel places her hands down. She lies down, actually, beside you and places the hands around your throat, connecting fingers around larynx. Through the hands, she will offer you heated energy. This heated energy will dissolve any blockage in the throat chakra, allowing you the ability to be able to speak with intent all that will be necessary for you to verbalize your path. Imagine now, see it now, visualize it. Visualize the hands around your throat, ever so gently, offering heat, electrical conduit of heat, dissolving the blockage. Know that the archangels are always here to assist us in miracle, and that you truly are a miracle as your soul enters the body. The shell, the house which you have chosen, must be cared for miraculously so that the soul may do its work. There are some of you specifically that require more intense clearing of the throat chakra. Those of you until now who have much difficulty defending yourself, protecting yourself, will be moved into that element of energy. For this is your soul and your soul's path. you must speak the ability to make sure that nothing stands in the way for you to walk the path. Uriela has completed this process and takes the hands away from the throat. I ask all of you now to envision the white and violet light as parallel bars moving from the root all the way through the solar plex, all the way up through the heart, and hitting the throat level. And as it does, encircling the throat. For this light, the energy that is within this light has been offered to remain within your body for the next 7 days. During this time, you are to have strength and courage to move forth in truth, to speak with spirit, to allow yourself to hear answer. And facilitate awareness, acknowledgement, and acceptance of your path. I ask you now to silently, as you visualize that white and violet light, offer your gratitude to Zadkiel, Raphael, and Uriel. And know that you can call upon them anytime you desire their assistance, particularly in the next 7 days, to strengthen this process in the development of your ascension and growth. Offer your gratitude silently. And close out this meditation with 3 deep, long,